Hey everyone, Tony Winston, Jazz Piano College, working out of this book today, Art Tatum Improvisations #1. And the copyright on this book is 1939. And I'm going to reprint this song, If I Had You. It will be down in the description. Please feel free to just click on the link and print out these 2 pages of the song, If I Had You. My thought is that Art Tatum did not actually write all this down, but that he recorded probably several choruses. Somebody recorded it and then kind of put it together to make this one arrangement that just goes through the song once. What I'm going to cover, though, in this video is the fingering on these 2-finger runs. And I got this from a guy who put out videos because he knew a guy who used to sit next to Art Tatum up in Toledo, Ohio, and watched him play, and said that a lot of these runs were done with 2 fingers or 3 fingers. And I'll link to his channel as well because he gives a good demonstration about these 2-finger runs. But there's several in this book, and the fingering here is more of a classical fingering, and I really struggled with it until I realized that, you have to use these 2-finger runs, and then it became a little bit easier to do. However, it's still kind of way more difficult than the things I'm usually able to play. Now, what I'm going to cover in this video is the 2-finger runs that are here. There's several of them, and then a climbing run, and also just a little look into Art Tatum's brilliance when it comes to his harmony, his chords. A lot of times when I'm working on an arrangement like this, I just kind of simplify it to the basic chords and see if I had Art Tatum's technique, is this something that I would have come up with or been able to do? And what I found out is some of these chord changes are not things that occur to me. And so, I try to learn from that as well as some of the fancy runs that go on. So let's just go through the song from the beginning, and we'll stop at those certain points. So he's starting, this is just the intro. So on the 1 chord is a dominant, and then the 4 chord. Most of the time when it gets to the 2 chord, it's going to be a minor 7, flat 5. However, I think back in those days, this particular chord, this will be the 2 chord in this song since we're in the key of A flat, is more often thought of as the 4 chord, a minor 6 chord, and it's the same notes. So just take that B flat, move it up there. Sometimes it seems like he's thinking of it that way, and sometimes not. All right, let's begin the song. All right, and a little bluesy thing. All right, minor in a major song kind of sounds bluesy. Now, right here is where it gets kind of tricky. Right? So he's going to the 4 chord again. This time is a minor 6th. Right? And by the way, you can, if you can't reach these tenths, come down with your left hand like this. All right? Art Tatum could reach that easily with one hand, but most of us mere mortals cannot. So but how does he get there? He gets there from a diminished chord, like the E double flat there. Right? All right. And then he goes down to the A flat. There's the 2 chord. It's really the same as the chord that started off this measure. Just another inversion. It's that minor 6 or the minor 7 flat 5. So we have to figure out what he's thinking there. But, as I was, trying to simplify this arrangement for my own purposes, just to understand the harmony, that's just something I don't really do. So he's on the 4 chord. That's the D flat major there. And then gets to that minor 4 chord by a diminished chord up above. That stuff just doesn't occur to me. All right, here we are back on the 3 chord or the 1 chord. Now right here, he is on the 5 chord, but he's going to approach the 1 chord from below here with a G7 like this. And that is something I would have thought of. I've done videos about this. Instead of using the 5 chord to get to the 1 chord, you can just go below it like that. And if you think about an E flat augmented, it's kind of the same thing. Now, another thing that Art Tatum does is he goes around does turnarounds like 1, 6, 2, 5, but he often goes 1 down to the flat 6, and then the 2 and the 5. And later on in his career, he would go like to the flat 6, then here, and then like that. So quite an elaborate turnaround. 1, and then maybe back there, or a 2-5. So that's what he does here. Goes to the F7, and right away to the E7, and I don't play all those notes down there, I can't reach them. All right, suggest this fingering, like what they have in the book, then use your 4th finger, and this is a climbing run. And what we're going to do is use the A flat harmonic minor scale. All right, we're in the key of A flat, so on the dominant chord, that is a scale that can be used. And it is this scale. All right, got that minor 3rd in there. And we're going to start the climbing run like that. No. And then we're going to end up on our E flat 7th, our dominant chord, with a flat 9 up there on the top. So this is not too hard to do once you get your fingers moving on it. And there's one of the 2-finger runs that I'm going to talk about. So if you end up here with your 5, if you end up with your 4, lift your hand and start this descending thing with your 4th finger. Then don't use the fingering here in the book. I've indicated a little bit what you should do, but it starts off like this. Now, the chord he's going to use here, it's kind of like an A9th, or you can think of it as, excuse me, or you can think of it as an E minor 6, right? But it's on top of a E flat 7. So this is kind of an altered chord, right? And typically he'll start off these 2-finger runs with a little bit of a flourish, something chromatic maybe. So he does these 2 notes and then begins this 2, 1, 2, 1, and then the same 4 notes 2, 1, 2, 1, and ends up here. Timing wise, let's count it 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. That last one being a triplet. I mean, I know it's only half a measure, but how else are you going to count this? 1, 2E and a 3E and a 4 and a 1. Okay? And then, of course, the whole thing fits together. Now we're into the second A section. There's another 2-finger run. Now we're on A flat 7, and what does he do? So this is a really good one for 2 fingers. It's just those 4 notes, these 2 and those 2. Think about a D7th for a second, right? Think about this chord like a rootless voicing, right? Or this shape. And that's what he's doing. So on an A flat, it's kind of altered because you got the 3rd and the sharp 9, the 7 and the flat 13. So it's an altered dominant here that he's doing. And so he begins with a little flourish to there, and then the two-finger run begins here. And then he does a little cambiata, escape tone, flibberty gibbet, I don't know what you call it. Just a little turnaround down there. Do these runs without pedal. I know sometimes I put it down, but they're going to sound better without pedal. And they also sound better with this particular fingering, because when you go 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, the notes come out ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, you know, like very precise, very articulated, very in time. And if you listen to him play these things, you'll realize that's what he's doing. When you do them with four fingers, they just don't have the same sound. All right, so we end up there. Yeah, you don't have to reach that 10th because that's where the right hand ends there, so good. Now this is just like this other harmonic section, except before he was a diminished chord like that. This time it's more like the A flat 7th, moving right to the D flat minor 6. All right. Not too many people could reach that one, so I just played that. And then here we go. There's our minor 7 flat 5, which is really the same chord that we were just on 2 beats ago. And we begin a pentatonic scale. All right, so let's cover that. All right, so first he starts off with some kind of notes just from the scale for a minor 7 flat 5 on the 2 chord. So minor 7 flat 5 is usually Locrian mode. That's the B major scale, not B flat, B major. So that's how he starts the run. Kind of repeats it. And then this is where the pentatonic begins. And it's an E pentatonic. Now, how do you come up with E pentatonic? Well, every note in the E pentatonic is in the B major scale. Yep. So it works for that reason. We're on that minor 6. We go down. The way I think of it is and I don't hit the 10th down here. I just hit the D flat. The right hand is on G flat right at that moment, and it's another septuplet. So counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Making those last 3 notes a triplet. Then we just got some great blues right here at the end. And then we get to the B section, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it. There's some tricky stuff over there on the second page. This ascending run takes over with the right hand. Tatum frequently started runs with his left hand and continued them with his right hand, and vice versa. It's another 2-finger run, I'm almost positive. At some point, the left hand takes over. Something like that. And there's one more descending run. Let's see what that is. Yeah, I believe it's another 2-finger run. So you want to go. Yeah. Start off maybe the way they say. No, start with your 3rd finger. 1. No. Yeah, because that's the pattern there. So if you started with 4, maybe go like 4, 3, 1 or something. Ending's really good. Haven't practiced it. Not going to waste your time with it. Please be sure to leave a like. Advertisement. I have a Patreon page, link in the description. PayPal link also down there if you'd like to support the channel, and I appreciate it very much. Hope you enjoy the song, and see you again soon. Thanks.